So when you put the Passport into the trail mode, it automatically engages these outside cameras. So you got a good front camera with your wheel marks, and then you also have, these are my favorite cameras, there you go. You actually can see what the front wheels are doing based on the mirror cams.
Yeah, and they're getting a little muddy right now, and also above 15 miles per hour they turn off as well, which I understand why, but it's still a really nice system to have. We got a nice deep water crossing here. There you can see the camera not even that far off of the water level.
A bunch of years ago, we took a Subaru up that very hill and got blacklisted for over 10 years. So Case, what do we got today?
Today we've got the new Passport TrailSport, and over the years, even regular passenger cars that aren't a 4Runner or a Wrangler have gotten a lot more capable. So let's see how this regular, everyday, daily driver does on this hill.
And let's hope to not get blacklisted after today's video. All right, everybody, so this is Cliffhanger 1.0. Now, this is a trail that has vanquished...
Oh.
Every time. You want to we'll just restart that one.
Yeah.
Cliffhanger 1.0 is an incredibly challenging trail that a lot of crossovers have failed, especially crossovers that don't have a dedicated low-range transfer case.
It's true. It's a challenging trail for vehicles in this category, and it does a good job, I think, of replicating the kinds of roads at the extreme end you might come across. If you're trying to make it to a pretty rugged trailhead, it's not going to get much more difficult than what we'll see here. Now, right now we're on the easy side, and we're also in normal mode. We want to see how far normal mode can get us. We are getting a little bit of slip.
So what we have here are two opposite ends of the car in the air, so the right front and the left rear.
Yep.
And with open diffs, the wheels are going to spin. So Case is going to change the mode to see if we can get some more brake actuation.
Trail mode now.
Oh, look at that.
And that does make a big difference, because the all-wheel drive system, IVTM4, in this Passport is a pretty capable system. They say it can send as much as 70% of torque to either rear wheel of its choosing, depending on what circumstances you're in and what kinds of traction you need on what end.
So this is a multi-clutch system, and Case did exactly the right thing there. So at the top of this hill, we started getting stuck. Case stayed onto the gas pedal, and then we had the clutches engaged in that rear diff to send the torque where it needed to go to pull us up that last little section.
Yeah, and I would say you smell maybe a little bit of brake.
A little bit, yeah, for sure. And I think, you know, especially today is a really wet day, so we're getting a lot of moisture on things that are starting to get hot. So if you see some steam coming off the car, that's likely what's going on there. But yeah, I mean, it does work surprisingly well. And the other thing too is, the reason that Subarus in the past have really struggled on this hill is because of the CVT, the continuously variable transmission. That is a system that really struggles with low speed torque modulation, but with the torque converter, you're able to get up. Why are we steaming so much here?
Yeah, it's quite a bit. One of the best things the Passport TrailSport has going for it is this set of General Grabber ATs. It's a 275/60 R18, and it's not a massive tire in diameter, but what it has going for it is that this is much more aggressive than the vast majority of tires that you're going to be able to spec from the factory on basically any other car.
Hill descent control, what's cool about the Passport is you have a range of 2 to 12 miles an hour. So it's set at 2 right now.
Yeah, so I can be feet off and the vehicle will just continue at whatever speed I have set. So it's a cool thing. I don't typically use these systems a ton for that kind of reason, because if you're letting it do its thing, it's just going to maintain that specific speed. I would rather modulate the speed myself, but it's cool that this vehicle has systems like that, since it is advanced enough to be able to do those things. So I don't think it's a bad thing.
No, it works okay. It just, I'm with you, it doesn't give you quite the control you need. Now let's talk about this Passport, and specifically the TrailSport version. Now in the past, TrailSport has been more or less an appearance group. Then starting with the current Pilot, in my opinion, that's really when they started to elevate it with some skid plates and recovery points beyond just the standard older versions. Now this new Passport TrailSport is the most extreme off-road machine that Honda has made in a long time, apart from their entire side-by-side and motorcycle division, where they've been king forever.
That's true. Honda is definitely in a big way invested in power sports, so they make a lot of very capable off-road machines on that side of things. As far as passenger cars go, they haven't really tried so much to compete with the 4Runner or the Wrangler or the Bronco. But to your point, this Passport comes with some genuinely really good hardware that helps a lot in these kind of situations. Like you said, underbody protection, not only underneath the engine as a skid plate, but some sliders as well, which is an option. It's an HPD part. That's pretty cool. Tires, that always makes a massive difference. Tires are hugely helpful, and these grabbers are very aggressive for this category of vehicle. And recovery points, so it's all stuff that we like to see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really impressed that Honda has gone to that extent. The one problem, and it is a big problem, with this vehicle from a dirt standpoint, is it only has 8 inches of ground clearance.
Yeah, not tons of clearance and not tons of articulation. This is also a fully independent suspension, so you wouldn't expect tons of articulation. And of course, there's no sway bar disconnect or anything like that, because once again, we're not really going after the Wrangler and Bronco with this vehicle. But even so,
yeah,
even when you're lifting tires, if you stay in the throttle, it will eventually do a lot of these things. Of course, it would be easier for me to make my way up this hill. I'm going to turn the parking sensors off.
I think it might be in there. That is also one other miss
is it buried in the screen?
Yeah, it is buried in the screen, yeah.
We'll skip it. But yeah, so we're using quite a bit of brake and everything to get up this hill. It would be easier to get up this hill if we used a little bit of momentum. But our goal in this test is not to make this easy for the car, but rather to push the car hard. But I am going to have to back up just a little bit and take some momentum into this, I think, to get up it.
Okay, sounds good. This video is made possible thanks to 2 sponsors. First of all, Grainger Warranty. If you're looking at buying a Passport, you want to keep it past the factory warranty period, Grainger has your back with factory-backed parts. And of course, dealer service. And then of course, Onyx Off-Road, the #1 go-to off-road trail navigation software. We find all of the best trails anywhere in North America, thanks to Onyx Off-Road. Big thank you to those guys for sponsoring today's video. Whoa, this is a pretty tough challenge. There you go. Yeah, I think it's gonna do it if you just stay in it like that. Come on, Honda. Come on, there it goes. There's that IVTM system.
Yeah, it's struggling.
Oh, it's so close.
I think we're asking a little too much of it. The other thing, so I could use quite a bit of momentum to try and push through this. The only thing is that this section, we've lifted up tires pretty far. I'm not sure that it's worthwhile to do that with speed in this car, because we don't obviously want to be too abusive.
Well, what if
vehicle.
What if we do this case? What if we do a modified line? So we couldn't quite get to the top where we get the huge holes, but what if we try going up to the right here?
Yeah, let's give it a shot.
So we're still going to be needing the torque distribution. Come on, Honda.
Yeah, and so this is where things become a challenge, is when you're fully articulated, hanging tires in the air. That's what becomes challenging for any vehicle off-road. But the other funny thing is, if you mute that sound, it mutes it temporarily.
Yeah.
And then it comes back.
Come on, Honda.
Car. So this is where a low range as well would make a big difference, because I feel like we also don't quite have the gearing that we need.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't think it's going to do it.
Yeah.
So we've kind of hit the limit of what this thing can do. Now, here's the deal, right? There's only been one other crossover I can think of in recent memory that made it up this right side. Do you remember what that was?
Bronco Sport?
Yeah, the Bronco Sport in the Sasquatch version with the locking rear diff was able to do this.
And I'm going to try to crawl this reasonably slowly, again, to make it as challenging as I can on purpose. You'll notice not tons of articulation here in the Bronco Sport, but even as we start to pick up tires, there's enough traction in this machine that's able to continue progressing up the trail. And we've got a small diameter tire. We don't have tons and tons, we don't have endless clearance, but for a soft rotor, this is really not bad.
An actual mechanical locker makes a big difference. This all-wheel drive system is very capable. And genuinely though, to the car's credit, what we're putting it through right now goes above and beyond what you're going to do, taking your family to go camping or to go mountain biking or something like that, just getting to any trailhead. This kind of feature that we're hitting is the kind of thing you would do in a 4x4 if you want to test its capability and do that for its own sake.
Well, do me a favor. Why don't you back it on down? I do have one more idea, and I bet we can get it up to the top one way or another. So this Passport's powered by a naturally aspirated V6, which is kind of getting unusual in any kind of crossover space right now. You know, most things now have got
Turbo 4s.
Turbo 4.
So are you thinking just sticking to the right?
You want to try it?
Yeah, we'll give it a go.
All right, give it a go. So 282 horsepower in this Passport. Pretty decent power, pretty decent torque, and then this 2026 model has a 10-speed automatic transmission.
So it does have a lot of gear ratios to choose from, which is nice. That helps out. And yeah, once again, with a little momentum, it's doable.
There you go.
So at any point in anything off-road, if you want to make things easier, then momentum is your friend. But at least as far as slow crawling, we were able to see some of the limitations of the system, but it's still for what this competes against, it's pretty rugged.
Yeah, oh, for sure. I mean, look, in this category, you've got vehicles like the Volkswagen Atlas Cross Sport,
which would not get up here.
Really no off-road capability. Vehicles like the new Nissan Murano, which have no off-road capability. In Toyota, you had the Venza, which is dead, which had no capability. Maybe the Highlander.
Pathfinder, which are a Rock Creek Pathfinder's not on the same level as this.
Doesn't quite have the same chops that this has, right? Because this has tires and it's got that cool dual clutch rear diff. And then you've got some X Pro and XRT versions from the Hyundai products, which once again aren't quite on this level. So I think that for most folks, this is going to be enough capability to get where you need to go. Clearly, with some line adjustments, we were able to get up the hard side of this trail. So I think that it still is plenty good, like you said, Case. And thankfully, because it's got a torque converter with that 10-speed automatic, it will do more than a continuously variable car.
For sure.
Typically.
And this vehicle is going to be able to get you anywhere you need to go.
Yeah.
If you're trying to go do trips to Moab and do 4x4 trails for their own sake, it's still not going to be a Wrangler or Bronco competitor. But this vehicle has no problem getting to all the places that you want to go visit, to see cool sights and go do activities outside. So it's genuinely a rugged and pretty capable vehicle.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that too, even though maybe the all-wheel drive system wasn't quite up for the toughest task here, at least we had the skid plates, which we used, right? We had recovery points, which we could have used if we needed them. And the tires held up too with some of the pokier branches and rocks. So that's good. And it's got a spare as well.
Yeah.
Not a full-size spare, but at least a spare.
Yeah.
So I think, folks, for most folks, this is plenty of capability. We got a lot more videos coming on this because Honda lent us this Passport for some long-term testing. Which is really cool, so be sure to stay tuned for that. I know this has been Tommy.
In Case.
AllTFL.com is a place to go for more Passport videos. Thanks for watching. All right, one piece of trail damage from today's video. This little tiny bit of trim fell off underneath, thankfully. So we definitely got to use that rock ray a little bit, and I think one of the little caps has kind of busted itself off, but at least it's underneath the car.